All right, the Reds, it is Talking Reds from Liverpool with me, Gareth Roberts, him, Mo Stewart, and we are talking about Liverpool playing tonight in the League Cup, or the Carabao Cup as it is called these days, but it's been called plenty of things. It's been called the Rumbelows Cup, the Milk Cup, the Carling Cup. What else have we had? We've had all Coca-Cola Cup, another one. We haven't rehearsed this is off the cuff. Let us know more in the comments, because it is a live one. You can get involved, you can send us your thoughts on whatever. We got to see a press conference from Pep Linders, and we were just talking about that, weren't we, Mo? And that they're always good, them, aren't they? Because, I mean, we all love Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's great. Sometimes I think he can't be arsed with the press conference at times. Sometimes I think he can't be arsed with the questions and where they try to lead him to, because he's way too intelligent to go down those roads. Pep's good because he just comes in and he's just super positive about everything. Like, you know, imagine him making you a brew in the morning in the office. It'd be fucking great, like, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? He's just like, you know, people are throwing quite negative stuff at him in that press conference. You know, the League Cup's a bit shit, isn't it, Pep? And he's like, no, it's great. Do you know what I mean? Like, by the end, you watched it, you're like, fucking hell, any Spurs were not. Do you know what I mean?
But this is the thing, isn't it? Like, he's like our secret weapon. Every time people go into those press conferences with some kind of agenda to get Liverpool out, you just send in Pep, because he's like a puppy. He's just so disarming with his enthusiasm. And yeah, it's interesting because I think that he would like to do more of them, but it's hard for Klopp to send him out more often without people going, aye.
Yeah, doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Or even like, is Klopp's getting ready to step aside, and is he now putting Linders in for that? And it's like, eventually that's going to happen, potentially, but I just think that it just suits him so much better. And you can tell that he gets excited about the same things that we get excited about. And I think it's important to have someone front-facing who is still excited, because you're right, Jurgen's got a bit jaded with the whole process, and frankly, I can't blame him. I'd probably get the same. In fact, I'd probably be worse than him if I had to do that as often as he has to do it.
It's a competition we won 8 times, Mo. You know, I'm sure you, like me, have been to big games in that competition and enjoyed it. And I seen a comment from a lad I know from Aiton yesterday on Twitter, and you know, I thought he's got a point there. He said, you know, like, there's loads of Reds piling on Twitter right now to say, shite competition, don't give a fuck. You know, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not really bothered either way. And he was like, I'm sure you'll feel the same way, of course, if we're in a semi-final or final and there's limited tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a good point from Gary, if you're watching IME. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing, isn't it? It's easy to just totally dismiss it. We are going to talk about it in depth on 3 Strikes, which is a subscriber show, shortly. Someone's threw in there Worthington Cup.
Of course. That was one of the ones that we won as well.
It was. So, yeah, I mean, what are your feelings on it briefly? Because you've got to say some gold.
Oh, yeah, I'll say some gold, don't worry. The way I look at it is that beggars can't be choosers, really. And in the times when we've really needed the League Cup, i.e. when we've been a bit shit, that seems to have been the competition to come and save us. If you think about 2012, think about 1995, think about even 2003, when we were hoping we would be good and we were actually really shit.
Yeah.
So you got to say that the League Cup's been there for us when we needed it, so we should probably be there for it when it needs us.
Yeah, let's stay with it. And plus, it is an opportunity as well, Mo, to see some players that we haven't seen for a while. And you know, I like the way that Pep was really positive about, you know, Curtis saying, you know, this will be his 50th appearance for Liverpool. It started for him in this competition. I've felt with Curtis all season that he's absolutely sort of, you know, tugging at the least, desperate to get out there. When he's got on the pitch in those fleeting moments, you can see he's like, you know, like when things are going right, he really wants to impress. I think he thought that this might be a bit of a breakthrough season. Feels as though, you know, I know he's now injured, but, you know, Elliott stole his thunder a little bit. And now, you know, he'll want to go into this game and be like, look, I'm better than this. You know, this is me. I'll play in the game and I'll show you my stuff, but I want to be picked in the Premier League.
Definitely. And you can tell by the way that Pep made such a point about it, that they've been saying that to him as well. They've been saying, look, don't worry. I know it looks like Harvey's overtaking you now, but be patient. You will get your chance. And you think about that concussion he had in the last pre-season game. If he hadn't have had that, I think he probably would have
That was
had.
really unfortunate
It
as
was.
well. You know what I mean? It was like, the fella comes from nowhere, volleys him in the nose, and then it's just like, he's all right. He's just pissed off.
Yeah.
But it's just like a protocol, isn't it?
got
And then it seems to sort of take away from his momentum. From
and so we've seen that happen quite a few times in Liverpool in the recent past, where someone's got injury and someone else has come in and taken the opportunity, and then as the coaches, you're like, this is kind of what we want people to do. We can't really argue with that. So for Pep and Klopp in particular, to keep him going, because you know what kind of a character Curtis is. He's got a lot of belief in himself. He's not going to be one who's going to be timid and say, "Oh, me not picks again, eh? Shucks." He's going to
be, boss me.
He's going to be lashing 20 yards in the training and going,
yeah.
See that?
He was literally putting on his Instagram, wasn't he, the other week about, I think it was when he was with England, and he scored with his weaker foot, and it's like, it's straight on his Instagram, not just for standing on or whatever and all that, and it's like, he definitely wants to get out there. The other thing that's, I think, exciting about it is Kate Gordon. We've seen a little fleeting glimpse of him if you don't watch the kids, which I don't get time to do because I've got kids of my own. But in the fleeting glimpse we saw of him in the friendlies, where he had a good chance, and then he was gutted that he didn't score it. You could again sort of Curtis-esque in that respect. He's still only 16. Big piece on him in the Athletic today. Feels like sort of Elliott-esque a little bit in that, like, Liverpool are a bit surprised that they got him and there wasn't more competition. I think Man United had a sniff, but Liverpool were obviously able to look at Curtis, at Elliott, and say, look, we've proven we give these kids a go. You might not necessarily get that at Manchester United. So he's chose Liverpool, and now, I mean, and you talk about Pep Linders being excited about things. You could have made some toast off his face when he started talking about Kate Gordon. It's like, he's on fire all the time. He's brilliant. Everyone loves him. He's having dinner with the seniors. All of this kind of thing. So I'm now excited about seeing this.
It's like, when you planning a birthday party for someone, like a surprise party, and you're trying to talk to them beforehand, and you know that what's coming, and they have no idea what's coming, and you're trying to suppress that ridiculous grin on your face. That was Pep Linders talking about Kai Gordon, and it's like, he knows that we are sitting on a diamond, and it's just about, can we make sure it gets to the surface in the right place at the right time? I think all the signs for him are really exciting. He's, like you say, he seems to be one of those players who's hard on himself in the right ways, I think, in a way that you can drive yourself forward to be better and better and better. And he's another one who the senior players have taken him under their wing. Like, he's been invited to eat with the players, to not just train with them, because you think about that sometimes, and you think about how they work it when you get youth players coming up to the training sessions. Like, they obviously come in, they do the training session, you kind of do your warm down afterwards. Then what? Like, do they go back to their own little place or they go to their own place? But no, you're seeing that they're trying to integrate him. And they're
because there can be the sort of, like, the kid on work experience.
Exactly.
Effect, can't there? Because, I mean, I think when you've read, various players' biographies, autobiographies over the years, and they've talked about when they got that opportunity, and you had, like, Gerrard obviously felt that he had to go and, like, take down Paul Ince or whatever. Brilliant.
I mean,
but you've heard in the past, like, I'm going back further, but like, say someone like Tommy Smith, we'd be booting kids up in the air, and like, you wouldn't give a shit. Yeah, and Ian Rush to the point where he's putting in a transfer request because he didn't feel like he was fitting in. He felt like he was getting bullied. He didn't enjoy the banter, all of that kind of stuff. Like, it feels like we're in a better place culturally now around footy, or certainly at Liverpool, where he's talking about Trent taking him under his wing. He's talking about Milner, unsurprisingly, giving him advice and stuff like that. But what he was saying was sort of, the reason they're doing that is that already they're going, aye.
Yeah, we've got one here.
He's got something, this kid.
and we kind of overlook these kind of things, because it's almost like, every club's got a youth academy, so every club's going to talk about their youth players as if they're fantastic. But we have to put it into context. This is a team who know how good they are and know what the ceiling is. So these coaches aren't going to be effusive about these players if they don't think that they can come in and do a job there. They're going to, you're going to get a situation where There will be players who they'll talk about as potential. You know, it could be this, it could be that. But as you say, what they do as opposed to what they say is the real indicator.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that we are going to see Kai Gordon playing this. I wonder genuinely whether we're going to see him play in the Champions League. Well, I know it's a wild shout.
I don't think it's that wild. I think if he's out there tonight, he takes his chance. Then all of a sudden, you know, you likely see him on benches and things like
exactly,
that. You've got bigger benches now, and look, why not? I mean, like the way, as I say, the way Linders was talking about what he can do, the ability he's got, and all the rest of it. You know, they don't do that at the drop of a hat. They do that when they think A, it's true, but also B, when the fella they're talking about has got the personality to be able to take that.
Yes.
Because, you know, like you talked about Curtis, you got to be careful with him, haven't you? That I think that if you talk him up too much, he'd fall over because his head would get too big, you know what I mean? Whereas,
and like they've already started kind of alluding to that in a jokey kind of way, I love that, and that I think that's it. It's being able to take the piss out of them for those things is as much a part of bringing them in, because when you're a young kid, you're always going to be insecure about certain things, but if you're almost trying to hide those parts of your personality, but if everyone say, "Oh no, we see that about you. We think it's funny, but we still love you." Like that just makes everyone relax, doesn't it? Like it's the same again. It's the same in the situation. But I was thinking about the Champions League mainly because, obviously, towards the end of the group in December, it's going to be tighter. But we don't know what the schedule's going to be like. We've already seen the fact that at grueling times we might be without certain players here and there. It might be a situation where we need a bit of magic out of somewhere to get us on another goal, and the fact that the way that Pep Linders was talking about the group, he was talking about the fact that everyone's looking at this group and saying, "Oh, it's a difficult group," and he's thinking, "Fantastic," because he was looking at it from the point of view of like giving younger players big games, because that's how they really develop. Because we talk about the League Cup and we say, yes, it's the best place for young players to develop because there's less pressure on them, but ultimately, if you're going to find out if you can play for Liverpool or not, you need to perform in a big game. So giving them that chance.
Sorry, comments.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, we'll do them in a minute. Because, listen, one of the reasons we do Talking Reds and we do the free show and everything else is that we would like you to support what the Anfield Wrap do, keep the Anfield Wrap going. And of course, the best way to do that is subscribe to our premium content. So if you've never had a go at that, we would like you to give it a try. We would like you to have a go and see what you think. You can download the app, right? You get free tokens and you can buy some of the premium, buy in inverted commas, it doesn't cost you anything, some of the premium content, have a go of it and see if it's for you, see if you like it. And look, there's all different stuff. There's, you know, the likes of me talking about coca noodles, but you've got like, you know, Neil and, you know, someone who's been a coach in football talking about tactics, breaking everything down. If that's your thing, there's stuff that's more of a laugh. You know, there's various stuff across the subscription, like something for everyone, basically. And one of the shows that we do is the Bacon Butty on a Monday morning. There was no bacon yesterday, but don't worry about that. There was top quality chat, and here is some of the top quality chat from yesterday from the Bacon Butty. I do like this, Tom King's report. Not that one, not the boxing fella, the fella who covers the Reds for the Mail. Milner is best free transfer in Liverpool's history.
Yep.
I mean, probably, yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. I mean, Premier League, Champions League, World Club Cup, doing a job wherever he's asked.
Mate,
coaching the kids.
Did you see him interviewed after as well? And he was like,
"Oh, no, I didn't see it."
Yeah, they just sort of, it was only a little clip, and they were like, "Oh, so when did you find out that you were going to be playing fullback?" And he was like, 3 hours. It's like 3 hours ago. He was like,
it's when Trent had his breakfast.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, Trent's getting bollocks when I see him." Like, but you know, to have a player like that can just come in and go, "No, don't worry, I got this," and absolutely body a player like, I mean, you know, that's tricky, man.
I know.
You know,
he's 35 years old, and look, we've previously seen him go up against a hard, haven't we? And I thought, and I wasn't alone. I sort of feel bad for thinking it now, but I was like, I think Zaha might have him a little bit on toast here. They created nothing down that side.
Absolutely nothing.
Like he absolutely had his kicks off. I mean, there was one where he should have been booked, I think, and there was loads of people who had money on a James Milner yellow card. And there was one where the referee, I think the referee said to him, "What? Sort of, that's your last one." But I think it was generous that he said that's your last one. I think he probably should have been booked for that. But yeah, in the Mail here, they've compared them to, obviously, number one, they put James Milner, they put Gary McAllister, of course, that we all remember, year 2000. critical goals in the treble-winning campaign, including, of course, Goodison Park. Marcus Babel can't speak this morning. Marcus Babel gets a mention here as well. Brilliant player. Joel Matip, though, is in there, which I like. Because he should definitely 100% be in there. He's getting to be another one of those players where we all go, why does no one appreciate Joel Matip? When we all do.
To get full access to this show, click on the link in the post and subscribe to Talk Premium. You get all of our content, including previews, reviews, post-match content, exclusive interviews and loads of transfer chats. So subscribe to the Anfield Wrap now. We share the journey of supporting Liverpool from heart of the city.
And we're back. So I hope you enjoyed that clip of the bacon butty. John's explained about, you're getting more and all the rest of it, so I won't say it all again. But yeah, get involved, support us. Vote the Reds. I've been looking at some of the comments during the break. There's people having a chat yet again about crisps. Favourite crisp, Mo?
Off the top of my head, Roysters.
Okay. Controversial. Someone's put that we should all try beef and mustard Brannigans. So there you go.
I'm not a big beefy fan when it comes to crisps. Like, I know that obviously Roysters are T-bone steak, which is technically beef, but it's because it doesn't taste like beef. It tastes like weird salt. But like all of the so-called hallowed ones, your Monster Munchies, your beefs and all that, I'm just a bit like, nah, not for me.
What about skips?
Skips are alright because you don't have to do anything. You can just lash them in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like I'm more of a cheesy crisp man than a meaty crisp man.
Oh yeah. Also, as well, from Bally Lad there, as well as suggesting we eat beef and mustard Brannigans, he's also rightly pointing out that we should ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the channel and like this video, because all of that helps with the internet matrix and people seeing it and all that kind of gear. Okay, so let's read some of the comments then. So we've got Brandon says, let's go for the Mickey Mouse Cup. Eddie says, put the under-9s out and send the lads on holiday till Thursday. Andrew says, every cup is worth winning. Mitchell says, League Cup, load of crap. Someone else mentions the Rumbelows, someone else mentions Worthingtons. Camille says, I want to see a solid B team. Paul says it's my lad's first match and he is beyond excited.
Exactly. It's a good point that.
It's always someone's first match.
My first match was in the League Cup as well, 2003.
Same. Mine was in 1990. We beat Crew 5-1 at Anfield and it was the Rumbelows Cup. 17,000 there that night.
Wow.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Dean Greygoose saved a penalty. Rob Jones was in the Crew squad.
He was in the Crew squad?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? Someone says they can't wait to watch Taki Minamino. On that as well, we've had some team news from Pep yesterday and he says Firmino not available, Trent not available, Nico not available. There is a comment in the comments saying who's going to play right back?
Well, I would say that Conor Bradley has got a very good chance because he didn't play midweek for the under-23s. I think it was him and Gordon who were the two who didn't play. They got humped, by the way, by a Leeds team that featured some of their Premier League players, so we should not go too heavy on them. But I think he's got a real chance. I think the fact that obviously Milner playing right back on Saturday wasn't in anyone's plans means that if that had been the plan previously, they might think, well, maybe we don't want to make him do it 2 games in a row because it is a very different task playing right back in a Liverpool team.
Also, as well, if Trent and Nico, there are doubts around them, Milner's your break glass for Brentford.
Exactly.
So you might have to sort of do the old chestnut of cliche alert, wrap him up in cotton wool. Someone says here, and I like this from Steve, he says, I'm old enough to remember the buzz about some kid called Fowler. The City loved him before he'd kick a ball. Very true, and it was, again, it was this competition that sort of, launched him and got him the headlines. He obviously scored 5 against Fulham. and then famously celebrated with, I think it was, what was it, a can of Iron Brew and a Chinese.
Chinese.
Or something. And you know, all the newspapers loved him. He was all over the telly and all the rest of it. And he certainly was talked about all over the city. We were all buzzing about it. We couldn't wait to see him. And then he was everything you thought he was going to be as well. Someone has done a weird little rhyme here. Andy David, I ain't been writing a lot. I'm flying off the top. Call me Lyland Scott. Gareth Roberts, 2021.
See, I'm convinced that that's some kind of lyric that, like, if you've written that yourself, Andy, then fair play, but I reckon you stole that from someone.
Michael says Pep Linders is such a great listen. The guy is so enthusiastically insightful when talking about football. I can see why Klopp was so desperate to keep him and take him back again after he left. Absolutely, I still think maybe, and someone's saying it here as well, you know, that the succession will maybe involve Linders. Maybe not as, you know, him as the top man.
No.
But, you know, him maybe alongside someone like Gerrard.
Well, this is it, because, like, if you look at, I mean, we obviously only get a certain amount of what we see of them, but if you look at the personalities of the two, Linders seems very much the good cop. And we all know that Klopp's a lovely fella, but we know that he's got a bit of anger in him, he can let it go when he needs to. Like, I might be playing him wrong, but I feel like Linders doesn't do that as much within that group. So for him to then be the big guy who then has to do that, it might be tricky. So it might be that he is the link to the previous regime. Someone else comes in and they do a little good.
I asked Milner what he was like when we interviewed him some time back. I said, you know, what because I was trying to get a little handle on some of them. And I said, you know, what's Linders like? And he went, oh yeah, you know, good fella. He said, but like, you know, like a proper nerd. And he was like, you know, he's always got some new little twist, some little thing he wants to do in training, some game, some new concept that he's got. And he said, and he properly loves it. He said he's properly passionate about whatever this new thing is. And, you know, you can see that. He also said, and I feel like I can tell this now because he's gone, and I don't think I'm breaking any confidence. I asked him what Shaqiri was like. And he said that on the bus, sometimes, he sort of made this like little weird duck noise, almost like a tick, just like a little when I don't know if it was when he was like dropping off or it was just like a tick in general. But he just said like they were all on it and they were all buzzing off it and they didn't really know why. So I wonder whether they ever got to the bottom of the Shaqiri quack.
Wow. See, this is the kind of content that we need to know. Oh,
you know
my
what
goodness.
I mean? This is why you should stick with the Anfield Wrap. Someone says the corn butty doesn't have the same ring to it. Oh, that's because someone says, is the bacon butty good for vegetarians? Just the title, mate, do you know what I mean? I mean, I do normally eat a bacon butty when we're doing it, but vegetarians aren't left out and no one's obligated to eat the bacon butty on the show. But I get stuck in, obviously. Fucking look at the statement. Some more Chris talk. Someone says, Steve C just got me first bag of giant Watsits. Can confirm the big like.
Oh yeah, like
what they say on the bag.
it's like sucking on a weird worm.
Who? Someone mentioned Sato's.
Obviously.
Tommy Smith made the young Howard Gale's life hell with his racism. Yeah, he absolutely did. There's no two ways about that. A questionable side to Tommy's character. There's no two ways about that, and no hiding that. Roysters is a bit like Marmite, says T-Gis.
Well, that's good because I like Marmite as well.
There you go.
Consistency.
We've got a Man United fan on.
Oh, hello.
He's asking about Milner playing right back. We just covered that, lad. And also, what are you doing? Get off me channel. Someone's asking about how many subs are there tonight, which is a good question, and I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm going to assume that there is still only 3. I don't feel like... Was there 5 in the League Cup last year? Yeah.
Going to admit ignorance on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
If it was the same as before, I assume it would be the same now.
We also got someone saying, how strong do you think Norwich will go? Now, obviously, they are bottom of the league after 5. There's people getting stuck in this morning. I heard it on the radio saying they're going to go down, they're not good enough, they fucked up again, all of this kind of gear. All of that suggests to me the League Cup, they couldn't give a fuck about it.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you look at it from 2 perspectives and you can say, look, we need a win obviously they'd have preferred not to have to play us. So normally,
and vice versa, to be fair.
yeah, I mean, normally in the situation where you haven't got a good run in the league, you do freshen it up. You say, okay, all these players who've been sitting there watching us play badly, let's give them a go. And I think that they probably will ultimately end up doing that again. I don't think that they'll be going out there with their full strength Premier League team. They will know that Liverpool are going to make changes. Obviously, they'll probably suspect we'll make more changes than they will. So they'll be like, okay, we're at home. If we only make a couple of changes, we'll have a chance of winning this game. And I do think that they'll take the winning seriously because, like I say, when you've literally lost every game this season, you can't afford to just dismiss any game. Yeah. So they'll be like, we might be able to hang on, win them on penalties. And that might be just give us a little bit of a boost and kickstart our season. Yeah, so
makes sense.
Like if there's anyone who's on the bubble physically, I'd expect them to start. You know who I want to see? Todd Cantwell. Like, what's happened to that guy? Because last time they were in the Premier League, everybody was talking about him. I don't think
were linked with him, weren't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure he started yet for Norwich.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Someone mentions that Gomez can do right back. I would agree that he's a bit of a break glass, but I think it changes the style of the side a lot because he's not marauding, is he? Let's be honest.
I want to see him in the centre as well. I want to see him and Ibu playing together tonight.
We'll do a few more and then we will go because we don't want to give you too much because we do want you to subscribe. Thanks for reading my comments, Gareth, mate. Top guy. Love the show and the channel. Yes. Oh, I want to put something out there. Anyone who's watching this show from America, particularly in the northeast area, so tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, anything going on around Thanksgiving, holla at your boy, because I might be in town. There you go. Aidan McCormack says, morning lads, just wanted to help promote the tour app and say, you will not be disappointed, all the shows are just brilliant, and for me, he's saying it's good for fans away from Liverpool. Thank you, the Anfield Wrap. Thank you, Aidan, for being very nice about us there. We have not paid Aidan to say that. There you go. He says a complete bridge. So a complete bridge for fans away from Liverpool. That is kind of one of the things that we do try and do with the Anfield Wrap, just sort of bring you the experience of what it is like to be at the games and also what the mood is like in the city and all that kind of thing. Someone mentioned about Origi could start. Yeah, I can see that one. I think he will. Yeah.
I mean, I think obviously we spoke all the time about Kai Gordon. I think some people will look at the team if he's not starting as a disappointment, but I don't think so. I think if he's not starting, he'll still get meaningful minutes in this game. And just because we're talking about him doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start because, like you said, he is still 16.
Yeah.
And you have got to do right by the squad as a whole. So I think with someone like Origi, the noise was very much like he's gone. He's a man of the past, but he came back in and he was able to contribute in the minutes that he got in the recent games. So I think that they'll be conscious of the fact that, like, look, we are still going to need him potentially at some point in this season. So we need to, if he's playing well, we need to kind of try to build on that as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of goals for Origi tonight would be great. A win for Liverpool would be great, and we will be doing our usual content around that. So there will be post-match audio, post-match video, and all the rest of it. So let's hope for a Liverpool win tonight. Let's hope for some exciting performances from some of the fringe and some of the kids. That has been Talking Reds. Up the Reds.